Hi guys, today we will take chapter 6, The Secret Garden, Primer 6. Colin is afraid. Because it rained all the next week, Mary went to talk to Colin every day instead of visiting the garden. But she woke early one morning to see the sun shining into her room, and she ran out to the secret garden at once. Again, because it rained all the next week, Mary went to talk to Colin every day instead of visiting the garden. So, how was the weather? It was raining. It was raining. What did Mary do? Instead of visiting the garden, she went to talk to Colin every day. It's complete. But she woke early one morning to see the sun shining into her room, and she ran out to the secret garden at once. She didn't even wait to have her breakfast. Please underline, she didn't even wait to have her breakfast. And circle breakfast, please. So, what did Mary do when the sun shining? So, Mary, when the sun shining, Mary ran to the secret garden at once. She didn't even wait to have her breakfast. It was beautifully sunny and warm, and a thousand more shoots were pushing their way out of the ground. Deacon was already there, digging hard with the crew and a young fox beside him. Have you seen the robin? She asked Mary. The little bird was flying busily backwards and forwards as fast as he could, carrying pieces of dry grass. He is building a nest. Underline, he is building a nest. Yes, circle a nest, whispered Mary. They watched the robin for a moment. So, what was the robin doing? She was building a nest. What was the robin doing? She was building a nest. What did Mary do? Instead of visiting the garden, she went to talk to Colin every day. Yes, what did Mary do when the sun shining? What did Mary do when the sun shining? She ran to the secret garden at once. She didn't even wait to have her breakfast, and the robin was building a nest. Okay, let's complete page 41. Then Mary said, I must tell you something. You probably know about Colin Craven, don't you? So now Mary is talking to Deacon. She was telling him about Colin Craven. Don't you? Well, I have met him and I am going to help him to get better. That's good news. There was a big smile on Deacon's honest face. We all knew he was ill. He is afraid he will have a crooked back like his father. So, what did Mary tell Colin? What did Mary tell Deacon about? Yes, she told Deacon about Colin. Did Deacon know Colin? Yes, he did. He is afraid he will have a crooked back like his father. So, why was Colin afraid? He was afraid he will have a crooked back like his father. Yes, I think that's what's making him ill. Perhaps he can bring him, perhaps we can bring him here and let him rest under the trees. That will do him good. That's what we will do. So, Mary and Deacon will bring Colin to the secret garden to be good. Yes, or to be well. They had a lot of gardening and planning to do, and Mary didn't have time to visit Colin that day. So, did Mary visit Colin that day? No, she didn't. She had a lot of working, so she can't visit him. When she came back to the house in the evening, Martha told her that the servants had trouble with Colin. What did Martha tell Mary when she went back to the house? That the servants had trouble with Colin. He has been very bad-tempered all afternoon with all of us because you didn't come, miss. Why did Colin have a bad-tempered all afternoon? Because Mary didn't go to him or didn't visit him. Well, I was busy. He will have to learn not to be so selfish. Oh, Mary said, well, I was busy. He will have to learn how to he will have to learn not to be so selfish. Now Mary is talking, a girl who used to be selfish at last, at the post. Replied Mary coldly. She forgot how selfish she had been. Of course, she was selfish but tempered girl. When she was ill in India, I will go and see him now. When she went into his room, she was lying in bed, looking tired. He didn't turn to look at her. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? She asked crossly. My back aches and my head hurts. So, what was the matter with Colin? His back aches and his head hurts. Why didn't you come this afternoon? He asked Mary. Why didn't you come this afternoon? I was working in the garden with Deacon. Underline please this quotation. I want to let that boy come to the garden if you stay with him instead of talking to me. Again, underline. I want to let that boy come to the garden if you stay with him instead of talking to me. Who said this? Of course, Colin to Mary. Who were they talking about? Yes, they were talking about Deacon. Mary suddenly became very angry. If you send Deacon away, I will never come into this room again. You will have to. If I say so, I'll make the servants bring you in here. Oh, will you? But no one can make me talk to you. I want to look at you. I will stare at the floor. Turn over the page, page 42. You selfish girl, cried Colin. Underline this quotation. You are more selfish than I am. You are the most selfish boy I have ever met. Again, you're more selfish than I am. You are the most selfish boy I have ever met. Who is talking? Yes, Mary to whom? Yes, Colin. I'm not as selfish as your fine Deacon. He keeps you playing outside when he knows I am ill and alone. When he knows I am ill and alone. Mary had never been so furious. And furious? Yes, very angry. Deacon is nicer than any other boy in the world. He is wonderful. Wonderful? Don't make me laugh. He is just a poor country boy with holes in his shoes. And here Colin is speaking about Deacon. He is a thousand times better than you are. Colin had never argued with anyone like himself in his life. Colin had never argued with anyone like himself in his life. And in fact, it made him feel more alive. But now he was beginning to feel sorry for himself. I am always ill, he said, and started to cry. I am sure my back is a bit crooked and I am going to die. No, you aren't, said Mary crossly. Colin opened his eyes very wide. Nobody had said that to him before. He was angry but a bit pleased at the same time. Okay, and now we have finished chapter 6, part 1. Let's practice it. Quotation number 1. I won't let that boy come to the garden if you stay with him instead of talking to me. I won't let that boy come to the garden if you stay with him instead of talking to me. Who said this? Do you remember? Yes, Colin. To whom? Mary. Who was they talking about? Yes, they were talking about Deacon. Complete. Mary didn't even wait to have her breakfast. The robin is building a nest. Yes, you are more selfish than I am. You are the most selfish boy I have ever met. Again, question number two, you are more selfish than I am. You are the most selfish boy I have ever met. Who said this? Yes, Mary. To whom? To Colin. Yes. Why was the listener selfish? Why was Colin selfish? Because or he wanted Mary to visit him every day and didn't do anything else. Again, why was the listener selfish or why was Colin selfish? Because he wanted Mary to visit him every day and didn't do anything else. And now we have finished chapter 6 part 1.